my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about 5 books that I wish I would have read this year. So these are books that have been on my TBR list for some of them the whole year, maybe even longer, the whole year, and that I really wish that I would have had time to read this year because I'm really excited about them, and for just whatever reason I didn't have enough time to get to them, but that I wish I had, and these are going to be priority reads for the new year. So the first book that we're going to talk about, and this is so funny, is because like especially with this book in particular, I pre-ordered it because I was so excited about it, and then it came and I just haven't read it yet, and that is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. So this is the spin-off series to Caraval by Stephanie Garber. So if you've read Caraval, you will know how amazing it is. If you haven't read Caraval, you need to. It is one of my favorite YA fantasy series. And it basically follows Scarlett, and we're talking about Caraval, not this one yet. Scarlett and her sister, Donatella, as they go to basically this night circus sort of thing. It's like a traveling carnival sort of thing, and they lose each other and they end up having to find each other, and there's like love and craziness, and it's just like a magical world. And Stephanie Garber is quickly becoming one of my favorite YA authors. But this is a spin-off series to that. So in that series we meet a character called Jax, and this series is spin-off from that character. Okay, so this is the second book in the spin-off series. So the first one is called where is the first one? So the first one is called Once Upon a Broken Heart, and this is the second one, The Ballad of Never After. So in this one we're following Jax and we're following Evie, just in this new magical world. I will say that I don't like this series so far as much as I like the Caraval one, but I mean it's still really good. I still am enjoying it. I just don't love it quite as much as Caraval. Oh, here comes my dog. She wants to play ball. It's not time to play ball right now. But I definitely wish that I would have had time to pick this one up. So in this one we are going to continue to follow Jax and Evangeline Fox, and I don't want to tell you what we're going to follow them doing because it will spoil the first one, but definitely recommend reading this one. I definitely recommend reading the Caraval series if you haven't yet. Like they're really good. They're fun. It's a lot of like series that I am just wanting to finish for this video, because the next one is Escaping from Houdini from Carrie Maniscalco. And as you guys will have known from my video a couple of videos ago that I did, where I talked about my top favorite books of 2022, the first book in this series was on that list, and that was Stalking Jack the Ripper. And so I really loved that one. And the second one was Hunting Prince Dracula, which I liked a little bit less, but I still really enjoyed. And now this third one is Escaping from Houdini. So we are following our characters, Audrey Rose and Thomas Creswell, as they are kind of falling in love in the 30s, or no, in the 1800s, sorry, not in the 30s, in the 1800s. And they're falling in love. They are walking a fine line between friendship and courtship, and they are solving mysteries together. Audrey Rose is way ahead of her time, first of all, and she has been apprenticing underneath her uncle to basically be a postmortem examiner. And so she is learning how to do autopsies, and she meets Thomas Creswell doing this. And so they form a relationship through that, and then they kind of go on these adventures together. So in the first one they end up trying to solve the Jack the Ripper murders, and they figure out who that is, and they end up stopping that murderer. And then they go away to this educational retreat up in Dracula's mountain, and there starts to be strange murders happen where the victim is drained of its blood, and so the townsfolk starts to come up with this rumor that Dracula, or Vlad the Impaler, the real life Dracula, has come back to life. So then they have to figure out that murder. And so now I don't know what's going to happen here. Obviously something to do with Houdini, but I really enjoy these two characters. I enjoy this world, and I just wish that I could have gotten to this one this year because I'm just really having a lot of fun with this series. That being said, though, there is only 4 books. I've already read 2 of them, and I'm enjoying it so much that it's one of those things where I almost like I don't want it to be over. And so I am going to be sad when it's over. Like there's some series that you're just enjoying so much that you almost don't want to read the last book just so that you know you have one more book to read. I think that's going to be this for me. So next is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. And this one I'm really excited to read for no other reason than it's by Victoria Schwab. So if you, once again, if you watched my video where I talked about my favorite books of 2022, then you will know that my favorite book was, spoiler alert if you haven't, then bleep it out here, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab, or by V.E. Schwab. And so just because of that, because I enjoyed that book so much, I want to pick up more of her books. So I actually just placed an Indigo order for 5 of her books because I just want to read everything by her now. And she has so many books out, which is awesome because it's so much fun to find an author that you really enjoy. And you just want to read everything by them, especially if they have a lot of books. That's just the best. So I haven't read anything else by her other than that book. I don't want to spoil it again. So I'm excited to get into other works of hers. So that other one is an adult book, and this one, because she writes under 2, I think it's when she writes as V.E. Schwab, then she's writing as adult, and then when she's writing as Victoria Schwab, she's writing young adult, I think is how it goes. I'm going to read the synopsis of this book to you. It says, Kate Harker wants to be as ruthless as her father, to prove she's worthy to stand beside him and lead their city. August Flynn wants to be human, but he isn't. He's a monster, one that can steal souls with a song, his own father's secret weapon. Their city is divided. Their city is crumbling. Kate and August are the only 2 who see both sides, the only 2 who could do something. But how do you decide whether to be a hero or a villain when it's hard to tell which is which? So this one sounds like another really good book by her, so I'm excited to get into this one. And I wish I could have gotten into it this year. It just didn't happen. So the second to last book that we're going to talk about is the beginning of a trilogy, and that is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I have heard a lot of really good things about this series. I've seen it talked about quite a bit on BookTube, and it basically follows the Scythes, which are basically, we're in a world where there is absolutely no disease, no death, no anything anymore. Like we have just conquered everything, okay? So there's no more natural disasters, there's no more nothing that actually kills people. So in order for population control, there has to be some way to kill people. And so we have invented these scythe positions where these people are elected to become scythes, where they have to take people's lives, okay? And so we kind of follow this character as this is happening. And yeah, that just sounds really interesting to me. I've heard so many good things about it. One of my best friends is absolutely in love with this trilogy. So, and we have a really similar reading taste when it comes to fantasy. So I think if she loves it, I probably will too. And yeah, so that's going to be very soon coming out. The last book that we're going to talk about today is Leigh Bardugo's Crooked Kingdom. So this is the second book in the duology, Six of Crows. So I read Six of Crows and I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit slow going at first for me, but I really ended up falling in love with these characters. So this is an eclectic group of characters that come together to basically try to pull off an impossible heist. And they almost get it done in the first book, and then they run into an extremely major snag, which is going to be this second book. So we ended the first book off on a cliffhanger, and I'm excited to see what happens in the second book. I read the first book this summer. It was my beach read. It wasn't very beachy, but it was really good and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to see what happens. And I might end up, because there is, I believe, a spin-off series of this. I don't know. I think so. Leigh Bardugo has written so many books and so many different worlds, but I'm pretty sure that this is part of the Grishaverse, where there is a spin-off series. I think. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm right or wrong about that. So anyways, you guys, those were 5 books that I did not get to this year, but that I absolutely wish that I would have. They're going to be top priorities for my reading list come 2023, and I'm really excited to get to them. Let me know in the comments down below which one I should get to first. and which one you're excited to hear me talk about more after I read it. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Stay tuned tomorrow where I will have another video uploaded every single day up until Christmas. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.